Hey, what's going on, everyone? So I know it has been a while since I've last uploaded a video in this channel. It's because I've been pretty busy so far. I've been back testing, I've been learning, I've been reviewing notes, I've been just trying to figure out a way to get more comfortable in these markets. And as I was experimenting with this, I decided to go for it and get a feel for a combine challenge. So some of you guys may know there's this platform called the Top Step, where like you pay to take a combine challenge, and if you pass it, then they'll be giving you a they'll be giving you capital for you to trade for them. Now I am not affiliated with them. I'm just going over. Be honest with you, I just went to take it to try things out for myself, right? Because that's I want to go over with you like why I took this in the first place, what happened during the exam, and as well as what are my next steps, right? So for those of you that may not know, this is a trading channel, and what I try to do here is I try to motivate you guys to believe that this markets are run by an algorithm, and if you do trust the concepts that you're being taught, and if you want a little bit of encouragement to see that someone else is writing this game along with you, this is the channel for you, I guess, until I figure out what else am I gonna do with this. But all in all, I decided to take this training combine, which is just like a challenge for Top Step. Once again, I am not affiliated with them, so right now, whatever I'm saying is just my personal experience. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is why I took this, right? Why did I do this? Why did I take this challenge? And honestly, it's just for experience, just to overall get a feel of the market. Because these past couple of months, literally, I've been going back and reviewing the ICT mentorship. Now, if you guys don't know who ICT is, you can just YouTube him. You'll find his channel. He has like 1 million subscribers now. I've been learning from him. I've been learning all of his concepts, and I've been just reviewing and redoing and revisiting all of my notes and taking notes and re-listening and re-watching all of his mentorship videos. And right now, what I was doing between like the first 2 quarters of 2024 was just going over, re-listening to all of his old stuff again, and just trying to come up with make sense out of it, make sense out of the information, so that I can formulate my own entries and formulate my own model, so that I can go into the markets comfortably to go ahead and trade. So because I wanted to get some experience, get to see how things are like, back again to taking a real trade, I guess, real quote unquote, I went again and got into this combine challenge. Now I did start around June, and the goal was to take this challenge between June and August, so the month of summer, and see if I can come up profitable, right? And to see if I can go in there into the market and be profitable, right? I think right now they're asking for 6%. So that's where I was aiming for. Now, what ended up happening was I ended up discovering a couple things that I don't like uh, talking about, and that's admitting to the fact that I'm not ready. As you can see from my performance, I was doing pretty good so far. The first trade was pretty good. Then the second trade happened, another hit, and what I was doing was I was just going um, for 5 handle entries. So I would go into the market, get my 5 handles, and then run. As you can see on the third trade, I lost one. Fourth trade, got back another one. Fifth trade, lost another one. So during this zigzag phase, I was getting a little bit impatient because a lot of the times I would see trades that I would want to get into, but I wouldn't push the button. And that was one thing that I discovered about myself, is that I thought that with all this studying, with all this back testing and reading the charts on these past couple of months, I thought that I had gone over that phase, that I was going to be ready to push the button whenever I see an entry. But this only proved to me that I was getting scared, especially when I was seeing in my performance this zigzag move. I was getting this confident. I wasn't being as confident as I was when I first started the challenge, and this weighed down on me, especially because this was taken around mid-July, and I started this challenge in June. So there was like a couple of expectations that I wanted to meet. I was telling myself these things that I should have been already getting my 6% by now if I had entered all of my previous trades. And I would have. I looked back into my journal, and most of my entries that I've been missing or I didn't participate on, they ended up hitting. So actually, this would have been like a straight up curve. You wouldn't have seen any drawdown because I was pretty selective on the criteria that I wanted to see on my trades. But also too, I wasn't able to find my entry very often. Though I'd be surprised to know that my entry wasn't as clear as I thought it was. I had a criteria, I had something that I was looking for in the markets, and it wasn't manifesting itself pretty often. Either that, or I was still trying to implement new ideas. So right now, if I can just briefly tell you my entry, is just a retracement to an OTE level after it has reacted off a mitigation block or a rejection. A mitigation block or a breaker block. So after we see price create a higher high after reacting from a block of one of those two, I would like to see a retracement down to OTE by the 779 level. Put my 5 handle stop, my 5 handle profit, and then let it rip, right? And so it was like a 1-to-1 entry. So if I had just kept going, definitely this would have been going up, right? But that's just all imagination talk. That's not really what ended up happening. So with this zigzag move, I was really, how can I say this? As I mentioned before, I was becoming a little bit impatient, and then I ended up breaking the rule, if you will, because my rule was to stick to one-to-one risk to profit, right? But then I saw a trade run up in my favor for a 2RR trade. So then that really put me into a state of mind where I wanted to see 2RR trades now. Forget the 1-to-ones. I wanted to go in there and hop into 2-to-ones now. Okay. And then the next following day, a couple of days later, around beginning of August, I was telling myself, listen, we've been doing this challenge for over 3 months. We are up 3%, and we just we're already halfway there. But still, this fear of pushing the button when I saw my trade manifest, I wasn't able to do it. That, and I wanted to apply new tactics into my strategy. So I wanted to let in new ideas come into how can I say it, overlap with my entry model. And that's something you shouldn't be doing when you're trying to take a real life challenge like this. You want to go in there with a model that you stick to the rules no matter what. But I don't know what ended up happening to me was, I guess over the time pressure, and the inexperience that I have pushing the button, it wasn't letting me. I wasn't able to perform at where I wanted to. And reflecting on it now, I think it's a good thing that this was what ended up happening to me, because now I'm able to go back and backtest again and learn some more and learn from my mistakes and somehow practice on drills so that I be able to not be so afraid on pushing the button next time. But instead of focusing on retracements, I was introducing buying old lows and selling old highs. So that is completely not my model. That's something I'm not totally comfortable in. And on top of that, I wanted to now aim for 2RR trades. So notice what ended up happening. My curve was 1-to-ones, then it was a 2-to-1. Then that's all I wanted to do was aim to 2-to-ones. I missed that entry, so now I'm down. All the while, the maximum drawdown that I'm permitted was going up. I got into another trade and hit me down again. And then I hit into another one, and before I knew it, bam, I hit the maximum loss. This rule was broken, and so now they closed my account. Wasn't able to trade any further. But you know what's funny? These two trades, I believe, were taken on the same date, on the following date. But on the following day, okay. So here, what ended up happening was I had two trades that actually ended up going in my favor. But because I was so greedy on aiming for that 2-to-1, if I had just dialed it back down and gotten back to my 1-to-1 tactic, I would have gotten two trades back here. Honestly speaking. So I would have ended up back to being, what is this, 2%? 2% back. But my mindset was not there anymore. I wanted to just either make it or break it. I wanted to dedicate this month of August to just review and study, which now again, after going about it, I should have just gotten my 2%, stop for the month, go back and review, and then come back in September to finish the job, right? But it looks like with these conditions, I guess I'm gonna have to start all over. So let's take a look at more of my statistics and see where how I was doing. Um, so in the beginning, the first two trades, I was quite astonished actually. I saw this meter say 100% winning trade percentage. Now I was like, holy crap, isn't this what everyone says that it's BS, like it's impossible? And yet I'm doing it. It's crazy. It's 100%. And what I found myself was that I was being really highly selective. So that's something I wanted to take note onto myself, that there is a way you can have a high degree of accuracy. You just have to like be really, really selective. Like when you see your trade pan out, your model, you take it, and that's it. But my mistake also too was that I didn't leave myself enough room to make a mistake, because every single one of these trades I was risking 1%, 1% of the account. Whereas if I had taken dialed it back down maybe to 0.5%, I would have had a little bit more leeway. But going into this challenge, I had already set my mind that every trade that I take was going to be 1%, just so that I can, well, to be frank with you, beat the test faster. Oh boy. So yeah, you see how that worked out for me, right? Okay, so now with the finished results, you'll see that I ended up winning a 38 380 per average winning trade. My strike rate was 55%. My average losing trade was 322. There you go, you see. And these were the transactions, if you will, that I was taking. Some of them I was holding for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. But yeah, again, I had a model. I was sticking to it. Found out it was long, and I wanted to shortcut my way again. I started introducing new entries, and then now I ended up with a losing combine challenge. So that's the story of today that I wanted to share with you. And so this happened around early August. Okay, so then I ended up taking a demo trade, a practice account. And it's funny enough, I did this like the following week after I had lost the challenge, and I was doing the same thing again, but this time I was introducing selling above old highs and buying below old lows. So that this was going to be the new strat for me, right? Hit, hit, hit. Wow, isn't that crazy? This was an OB entry. The trade that got me to here was like an OB entry. It was like a 1-to-1. These two, I believe, were 1-to-1s as well. No, wasn't it? But it looks like I was risking quite a bit actually. But anyways, I was mostly focused on the entries and seeing how far that would get me. But it's great to see again that this stuff works. The stuff that this guy's teaching on his YouTube channel, it works. You're getting at the right moment at the right time. You have the right framework. You have everything going in your favor. Your setup. The trades really do just end up running, and that's something that I want to let you know. That's coming from someone that has a small channel. And if you're trying to find your model as well, trying to find profitability, I want to let you know that this stuff is real. I'm testing this out for myself, and it's getting me crazy results. At the end of the day, it's just a matter as how much you're risking per trade, because this graph can be the same as if you risk 0.5%, 1/4%. Here I was just going all out, playing stupid, right? 15 contracts per trade. But yeah, I wasn't even looking at the numbers. I just wanted to see if the structure was there. Look at that, winning trade percentage, 100%. They say that's rare, right? Humble brag, if you will. But yeah, so come next week, I'll continue practicing on this account. If it blows up, it blows up. If it keeps going up, let me know. I can make a video showing you guys how it went down. And yeah, that's all I want to talk to you about today. So what's coming up next with this channel is I'm going to be reviewing. I've been studying again, re-listening, and I think he dropped his 2024 mentorship, so I've been watching that as well. It's been giving me new ideas as to how I interpret the market, so we'll see how that goes. And all in all, I'm excited for September. I can't wait for September to start. I can't wait. And yeah, we'll see how the reset goes for me. Um, so this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get started into this combine process. Whether I'm too early or not, here I go, I say. But all in all, been just hammering these charts, just practicing my entries. Been doing buying short-term lows, selling short-term highs, and doing my retracements after a breaker. Want to see an OT retracement after a mitigation. I want to see an OT retracement, and or now I'm also incorporating buying and selling order blocks as they're forming. So before they expand, I'm also trying out those entries as well. So if you want to see a little bit more about my journal as to how these trades look like, let me know, and maybe I can make a part 2 about this. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, take care.